morning and welcome to the Point. It is Monday, June 28th, 2021. Thank you to those of you joining us on the GBN, Grenada Broadcasting Network's Facebook page, the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel, the website www.gbn.gd, GBN TV channel 7, 11 and 20. Good morning to the listeners of Classic 105.5, 105.9 and all the folks joining us on Party Grenada and Go to FET Facebook pages. Always a pleasure to have each and every one of you tuned in. Thank you so very much for your listenership, your viewership, and your time. This morning, my virtual guests are representatives of the Inland Revenue Division of the Ministry of Health. I have joining us is the Public Relations Officer, Mrs. Kareen Morain-Alexander, and the Senior Tax Officer, Mr. Joel Johnson. Good morning, lady and gentlemen.
Good morning, Blossom.
Good morning, Blossom.
Grenada.
Morning.
Yes, and good morning, Grenada also.
Happy to have you both this morning. We have a few things to discuss. Let's start with what a lot of people would be excited about. Anytime the word discount is mentioned, people get a little bit excited. So the IRD is currently offering 5% off on property tax. So tell us, how did this little relief come about? What made you make that decision?
Blossom is not anything new. It's a yearly something that is done at the Inland Revenue Division for property owners. So once you pay your property tax by June 30th each year, you'll be able to get that 5% discount.
And how has that helped with ensuring that people actually pay their property tax? And is this a part of the services that you offer at the IRD in terms of people paying their taxes? Is property tax one of the areas that a lot of people are compliant or non-compliant?
Mostly compliant. We have some deficiencies in that area, but most property owners are complying, and it is one of our most compliant taxes. Yeah, Mr. Johnson can take me on that. Yeah, it's one of our the base is very wide. That's one of our widest base tax base. So we have a lot of persons coming in and taking advantage of the 5% when the year comes around. Yeah, so you'll find most people trying to take advantage of the 5% before June 30th, but on or before. Once you paid on or before June 30th, you automatically get that 5% off your property tax. And it's for the current year. So it's not for past years that you might be owing for, but it's for the current year, the tax period 2021. That's what you get the 5% discount for this year.
Yes, so Ms. Morain-Alexander, you're absolutely correct. Property tax is one of our most compliant taxes, so along with VAT and so on. But we've been doing pretty well in the collection of property taxes over the years. And I do think that one of the reasons is because of that 5%. Most persons try to ensure that they pay before June 30th. So you could get a 5%. I mean, who doesn't like a discount? Everyone likes to have a discount, as small as it is. Even if it's $1 you're getting out, that's $1 more you could save or you could put towards something else. Especially in this COVID times, as people say, people like the idea of getting to save or getting some money back. So we're encouraging persons, wherever you are in the entire world, if you own property in Grenada, try to pay your taxes. Even if you're not the sole owner, but you are occupying the property, you may have the agreement to pay the property taxes. Find out from the owner and come in and make your payments and pay your taxes online and enjoy your 5% off.
And this would be a good opportunity to bring in the online portal that government launched with the ability for some of our Grenadians abroad to be able to pay their property taxes and other taxes as well.
That's right. Yes. Go ahead, Johnson.
I was waiting for Kareen to speak more on it. Yes, so we've been excited about the online platform for quite a while, and we are pleased to say that the online platform is up and operational. Just a few days ago, we would have celebrated 1 year of our new online platform. That's the pay.gov.gd platform. It's fast, it's exciting, and people love it. They've been using it to pay their driver's license, vehicle inspection, COVID test for those coming back to Grenada to quarantine. And of course, you can pay your property taxes online also. So it doesn't matter where you are in the world, in the diaspora, England, Germany. And I tell you, we have Canadians all over the world. Everywhere you can think of, we have Canadians. And we have Canadians all over the world. Everywhere you can think of, we have Canadians all over the world. Everywhere you can think of, we have Canadians all over the world. Everywhere you can think of, we have Canadians all over the world. Everywhere you can think of, we have Canadians all over the world. Everywhere you can think of, we have Canadians all over the world. Everywhere you can think of, we have Canadians all over the world. Everywhere you can think of, we have Canadians all over the world. Everywhere you can think of, we have Canadians all over the world. Everywhere you can think of, we have Canadians all over the world. Everywhere you can think of, we have Canadians all over the world. Everywhere you can think of, we have Canadians all over the world. Everywhere you can think of, we have Canadians all over the world. Everywhere you can think of, we have Canadians all over the world. Everywhere you can think of, we have Canadians all over the world. Everywhere you can think of, we have Canadians all over the world. Everywhere you can think of, we have Canadians all over the world. Everywhere you can think of there's a Grenadian there. Trust me about it. So no matter where you are, you could pay your taxes. Just sign on. All you would need to know is your tax account number, which can be found at the top left side of your bill. Is that 8-digit number? It ends with the numbers 33. Once you see that an 8-digit number ending with 33, then that's your tax account number. Once you go to the site, you enter your tax account number, you enter the last name of the property owner, and all the details comes up. If you owe previous years, the site will show you, and the site also calculates the 5%. The site is very smart. It's a smart site. So right up to midnight on June 30th, you could get the 5% off. But right after the clock strikes midnight, don't expect the 5% anymore. So please pay online, sign on before. You can do it in the comfort of your home. You can do it on your cell phone, on a computer, on your tablet. It takes like 5 minutes to pay, guys. So you have no excuses. I know quite a few persons are busy, like myself and Ms. Alexander. We're busy persons. We don't have time to go stand in the line at IRD and wait and wonder what we could do while we're in the line. Forget the lines, skip the lines. Save the time, save the trees, save the paper, and just pay online. Quite a few persons also have been complaining about the receipts. You know, sometimes you pay your taxes and then you lose the receipts. When you pay online, it's another way to secure your receipts because the receipt can be emailed to you or sent to your phone number. And you could just save your receipts in a soft copy or in a flash drive. You have all the receipts saved in one location. Or on the cloud, have it saved in the virtual cloud so you can access all your receipts. So don't worry about losing receipts anymore. Pay online. It's fast, efficient, and effective. And persons have been loving it so far.
Yes, Blossom. People have been very much loving the site. We just celebrated 1 year since we launched the platform, and it is going very well. It is gaining popularity. When we started about with 20 persons, 20 to 40 persons online. Today we can boast of 200 and more on a daily basis, and we still have room for more. So we're encouraging persons to use it. Persons in the diaspora, you know, you can't come home as you usually do. You know, people jump the plane and they come home to do businesses and other little things, you know, that they will actually want to do it for themselves. But this site is making it very easy for you to pay your taxes online. We're taking you from inline to online.
So how has the coming on board of the portal, the online portal, how has that helped in getting people to actually pay in full and on time, as the saying goes? I know the lines have been a deterrent for a lot of people, and sometimes they wait until after the month end when the lines are shorter. But the coming on board of this portal, how has it helped people be compliant?
Okay, as Mr. Johnson said, you can come on any time. It doesn't have a limit. It doesn't close off at 4 o'clock. You can go up to midnight. And persons have been really commending us on that initiative, and they're like, it's like a lifesaver. I've been speaking to persons on the phone and people in the diaspora, and like one person said, "Oh man, this is better than coming home, man." So it's a really good, and it's a milestone for us in that we've provided that kind of service for our taxpayers.
And I would just want to join it, Ms. Alexander, and say, it has saved persons see that it's been saving their time, also saving money, because quite a few persons overseas, to get their taxes paid, sometimes they have to pay to send money to someone in Grenada via Western Union or whatever means, and those things come at a cost. So now you could just go online and pay it yourself. But prior to this site, I must add that we did have the option for paying online before, prior to this new site. Persons could have used our e-filing system, which was taxservices.gov.gd. Quite a few persons would have used that last year and so on to pay their taxes online. But we are promoting this new one because it's a lot easier. So persons, if you've been using the old site taxservices.gov.gd and you're comfortable using it, then by all means you could go ahead. But I'm saying I prefer this new site, that pay.gov.gd. It is faster and it is still effective, so I'm encouraging persons to try it out.
June 30th as well is also the end of the 6-month cycle in relation to getting your vehicles inspected and licensed. And I know the traffic department of the RGPF has expanded the inspection site to the cricket stadium. but that has since ended because Grenada is hosting cricket at the cricket stadium. But in terms of payment of motor vehicle license, how is the IRD facilitating that, especially with the deadline on Wednesday, actually? Wednesday.
Yes, Wednesday.
Mm-hmm. How is IRD facilitating?
So because of cricket, we have, well, you can pay your inspection fee and your motor vehicle license on pay.gov.gd. So you don't have to bother about going to the stadium or not being able to go to the stadium to pay. But what we've done also, in collaboration with the RGPF, we've moved the station from the stadium to the highway. So everything that you could have done at the stadium is now available at the highway.
And for those who still do not want to pay online, there will be a cash point at Dusty Highway. I know some persons, they are still challenged. I don't want to say challenged. Not everyone is ready to do everything online. I know some persons are still comfortable just using cash for everything or their checks. So for the few persons like that, and I will still say few, for the few persons like that, we do have a cash point at Dusty Highway. You can make your payments there still and get your vehicle inspected and collect the sticker right there. So no need to come across to St. George's to Inland Revenue. And of course, if you do want to come to Inland Revenue because you just love seeing Mrs. Alexander's face, or maybe the officers at the taxpayer services section, you just want to see them, you want to interact. And mind you, we laugh about it, but some persons, they say that yes, although we're online, they just like the interaction.
Yeah.
So they miss that, especially after being confined at home for so long. No, Grenada is COVID-free. You wear a mask and you come out, you could still get to see someone. So if you're like that and you want to see someone, you want the interaction, by all means, come to the office and you can make your payment and get the sticker. But for the majority of you who are busy individuals and you just want to get your thing done quickly, you want to pay it online and get it done.
And for the persons who are still skeptic about using the online service, it's one of the easiest sites you can get onto to pay your taxes. As our Deputy Comptroller says, it's the people's portal. It's made with people in mind. You know, sometimes you go on to a site and you have to fidget, you have to look for this, you have to look for that. Oh, where they're paying, where the payment thing is, with that is nothing like that. Everything is just straightforward. Once you enter into your tax account number, you type in your surname, and you just go through. Just read the instructions, and you just go through. I understand people just go and experience the experience. It's really an experience worth having with pay.gov.gd.
Yeah, guys, excellent. And it only takes you just about 5 minutes to make a payment. Another beautiful thing about pay.gov.gd is you can make multiple payments and one checkout. It's just like shopping and you add like 10 different items to your cart and then you just make one payout. You could do the same thing. So if you have multiple properties or you're paying properties for you and your grandmother, your nene, your parent, etc., you can add all of the properties into your cart and just make one payout. So you just enter your credit card details once and then pay for all the properties. And like I said, the website calculates the rebate for you. So no need to take your calculator and trying to deduct the 5%, and you might do it wrong. You might pay the incorrect figure, as we've seen some persons doing. Some persons have been trying to manually calculate the 5% online and not paying the correct figure. So please, the site calculates it for you. Let the site calculate it for you and pay what the site gives you. Don't manually calculate it. Because, Blossom, let me just add right here, right now, persons who manually calculate it, if you make a difference, you make an error in the calculation and you do not pay the correct amount, that balance is going to earn you penalty on the balance and interest is going to accumulate. So next year, you're going to come and you're going to say, wait, what's happening? I paid my taxes last year. I paid it on time. Why is there a balance? There might be a balance because you did not pay the correct amount. So please allow the site to calculate the 5% for you and pay the 5%. Don't do it yourself because sometimes human error, we might make some mistakes. Even if you pay $1 less than you're supposed to pay, that $1 is going to earn penalty and eventually is going to earn interest. So by the time next year, you might see an arrays of maybe $4 and cents, and you will say, oh, what's wrong with IRD? I paid my taxes in full. But please listen to Mr. Johnson and Mr. Alexander. Allow the website to calculate the rebate for you and pay what the website gives you. Don't pay your own figure.
Another concern that I've heard people have in relation to online portal, it's its safety. When I put in my information, especially using credit or debit card, how secure is the information? What can you tell the people who have that concern?
Johnson?
Well, I would say I wouldn't boast, but I would say it's a very secure website. When you go to different websites, normally to tell that this website is secure, you would normally see like a padlock at the top left side of the screen. And once you see that, you know it's secure. Also, another plus about this website is you would recognize persons who've been using it. It does not save your credit card data or your debit card information. So which means that there's nothing being saved on the site. So every time you go on, you have to enter it again. And that's a good sign that the site is a secure site. Additionally, I would just offer a word of advice to our general populace in using credit cards or debit cards online. Yes, we have to be careful whenever making online payments, but I will always say it is safer to use a credit card than a debit card online. I mean, your debit card might be linked to all of your money in your savings account, but a credit card is not really your money that you're using. So it's always safer to use a credit card online. Yeah, use the bank's money. The banks, they're going to hit me for that, but use the bank's money. So in case anything happens and you did not make you did not make a payment, you can always go to the bank and say, hey guys, there's a charge on my credit card. I did not make this payment, and then they could track it and they can always reverse it. But if it's your debit card, that money probably would have already left to your account. Yes, the bank could assist and get it reversed, but it's always safer to use a credit card online than a debit card. But of course, we do trust our site. We believe that it is very safe and secure, like Mr. Alexander is going to expound on shortly. I believe that the site is secure. I've used it many times. My family, my friends use it. I encourage persons to use it. So we would not be here showing you my face, encouraging you to use a site that's not secure, because you're going to find me. Grenada is a small place, and you know where I work now. You're going to come back and say, Mr. Johnson, you told me the site was secure. And I used the site, and now I lost my $40 for my property taxes. I do not want that. So yeah, guys, you could trust us. The site is secure. Mr. Alexander, anything else you want to add?
Yes, as I said, it's the people's portal. So we took, when we were putting the site together, we placed much emphasis on security, and our service provider is very reputable, and we made sure that we sought to let them know that security is of optimum, that we expect it to be secure. And so far, we've had no complaints as it regards to people's identity being interfered with or anything like that, or loss of money or anything like that. We have zero report on that. So we're so proud at this point. As I said, we just celebrated a year, and so far we've had no complaints there about that, any.
And let me ask about compliance. I guess, Mr. Johnson, this is where you would come in heavy here. In terms of Grenadians' compliance to pay all their taxes, all the things that we need to pay, whether it be property, motor vehicle, whatever the taxes may be, how compliant are Grenadians? Is this a major concern, a major problem for the IRD in ensuring people actually pay their taxes, pay their bills, even income tax as well?
A very good question. Very good question. I was not prepared to talk much about this, but allow me to say that in general, I think Grenadians are pretty compliant. That is, those who are registered and so on to pay, they're pretty compliant, especially those who understand why we pay taxes and the benefits of paying taxes. They are very much compliant. But sadly, we do have a percentage. I don't want to give you a number, but there is a small percentage of us that are not very compliant. And it happens for various reasons. Some persons may not be in a financial position to pay their taxes on time, especially now we understand that some persons may have lost their jobs because of COVID, etc. But you will agree with me in saying that property taxes, in Grenada especially, isn't very high. So persons, you could have saved or you could have paid in pieces from January to June and still manage to pay and get your rebate before the deadline period. In terms of other taxes, we have been seeing increases in the compliance rates because we have an entire compliance section. We have persons that will call you when you haven't filed or paid on time. They will call you and inform you and ask you, hey, you normally pay, we're not seeing a payment. So we have a compliance section, and that has indeed helped in terms of getting our compliance rates up. Quite a few times, persons are not compliant and they blame it on not being able to receive their bills on time, whether it is your income tax notice or your stamp tax or even a property tax notice. So on that light, I just want to encourage persons to ensure that IRD has the correct address for you. So sometimes persons would have bought property, let's say Blossom, let's use you as an example. Let's say you bought property in St. Patrick's and you used to live in St. Patrick, but now because you work in St. George's, you now live in St. George's. But you did not inform IRD that you changed your address. So here we are, still thinking you live in St. Patrick, sending a bill to St. Patrick, you in St. George's, completely obvious, you're not checking your bills in St. Patrick, and you forget to pay property tax because you never received a notice. So we're encouraging persons, if you know your address would have changed during the year or years, especially persons in the diaspora. Sometimes you lived in New York, but now you moved to Manhattan or somewhere else, or you moved to Texas or somewhere. Please inform us of that change. Very soon, our online platform will allow you to make those changes yourselves. And we are excited to speak about this one, but we're not ready to roll it out to the public as yet. So very soon you could be able to receive your notices electronically. So at least that problem will not continue again. So you could receive your notices electronically. But until then, I just want to continue encouraging persons to be compliant. Yes, we've seen increases in the compliance rates, but we are still not where we want to be. I don't want to give you figures, but I will tell you that we still have quite a few millions outstanding in property tax arrears. And if we do get to collect it, the country could be in a much better place. Maybe those potholes on the roads that we've been clamoring for, maybe those potholes could be fixed. Here we could get a lot more done if persons are compliant with their taxes and pay all their taxes on time.
On mute, Kareen. On mute.
Compliance is very important to us here at IRD. It's what pays the bills. And grants are not as we used to get it before. So we have to put in what we have to put in. Yeah. So as we launched Pay.gov.g, going back to Pay.gov.gd again, our compliance level has risen quite a lot. And that's why we're here this morning to educate the public on the use of that platform and also to be compliant. It's very important. It's very important for us. So we encouraging you to use the platform, pay your taxes on time, and just be compliant, because as we normally do reminders, we normally do different programs on the radio. So we just want to encourage, and we believe an educated taxpayer would be a more compliant taxpayer. So that's why we're here this morning.
On that note, let's take a break, and then we're going to come back and continue the conversation, and then we're going to field the questions that I've started to pour in since the program started from members of the public. This is To The Point. We're speaking with officials of the Inland Revenue Division of the Ministry of Finance. To The Point, we'll be right back.
Montreal, it's time to line virtually one more time. Gemma Rayburn Baines here for Spice Island Cultural Festival, a celebration of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. This summer's festival is a celebration of life with food, fashion, music, and culture. Join us online Saturday, July 10th, 3 p.m. on Facebook and YouTube at Spice Island Cultural Festival. Info, spiceislandculturalday.com.
Do you hear what I hear? Listen to the ocean, and you will hear a cry for help. The ocean is hurting, and we are the source of the hurt. But we can stop and start to heal our ocean by preventing pollution from getting into our waterways. It can start with you. Join an active organization, or better yet, make a personal commitment. Commit not for just one day in the year, but for the rest of your life. Let's dispose of our plastic and other waste responsibly, and let's start building resilience. Let the healing begin.
This message is brought to you by the OECS Commission with funding from the Government of Norway. Remlit, tackling ocean pollution from tooth to sooth.
Feel good facts.
Avoid the most common causes of spreading the flu. Cover your coughs and sneezes with a tissue, dispose of it straight away, and either wash your hands or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer.
Stop the spread of germs that can make you and others sick. Cover your nose and mouth with a tissue when you cough or sneeze. If you don't have a tissue, use your elbow. Wash hands often, especially after coughing or sneezing into a tissue.
Feel good facts.
Remember, if you have flu symptoms, do the right thing and stay at home to avoid giving it to others. Remember, you can be infectious up to a week after developing symptoms, so rest up and take it easy.
Good morning and welcome back to the Point. We're speaking with Public Relations Officer of the IRD, the Inland Revenue Division, Kareen Morain-Alexander, as well as Senior Tax Officer Mr. Joel Johnson. This is the point in the program where we're going to invite viewers and listeners, if they have comments, questions, queries, concerns, this is your opportunity to ask them. The landline number 435-2041. The WhatsApp number, it's also 435-2041. Please, only written messages on WhatsApp. No voice or video calls, no YouTube links, videos, pictures, voice notes, only written messages. And you can continue to post your comments, questions, queries, concerns on Facebook and YouTube. Let's go to our first caller. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. Can you please ask the lady to repeat the site? And another question, apart from using credit card, can you go straight into your account at the bank and transfer it to the Inland Revenue account?
Okay, thank you. She wanted, unmute Kareen, she wanted you to repeat the site, as well as if they can just transfer from your account. If you don't have a debit card or a credit card, if you can just transfer from your account straight to IRD's coffers.
Okay, so the site is pay.gov.gd. That's pay.gov.gd. There's no www at the front of it, so you just type in pay.gov.gd. Joel, you want to talk about the account to account?
Yeah, but through the site, we haven't really made arrangements for accounts to accounts. But we do have Swift codes for persons, especially in the diaspora, to do like wire transfers to our accounts. We don't love that option, especially for locals here. But if you want to do it, we could probably get the information to you. You might have to go to the office. I don't have it offhand to give you over this live call right now. It's not handy on me right now to give you the account information online. Yeah, so this one is kind of iffy. We prefer that you pay it online or just come in and pay cash. And remember, guys, apart from paying cash at the office, you could still pay it at all of our revenue offices. Remember, we have a revenue office in every parish. So you could still go there to make the payments. So I think the time is going to take you to go to the bank to do that, to the account thing. You could just go to one of our revenue offices if you really can't pay it online.
And also, if you have someone with a debit or credit card, you can ask that person to pay your tax for you online. So you don't necessarily have to have one, but just make sure that that person is trustworthy and you trust them with your information. Yeah, so, yeah. If you're local, you can always go our account. We have an account at the Cooperative Bank, the Grenada Cooperative Bank. So you can ask the teller when you go there, so that information can be passed on to you as to how you can pay your taxes account to account with Grenada Cooperative Bank.
There's a
But let me just add, if you do that through the bank, you also have to inform IRD of the date that you paid and the amount that you paid, or maybe even inform the bank. You have to give them the account number, so at least we could know that this money that came into our account is for Blossom Alexis and It is for her property tax. I mean, don't just put money on a government account and not put any notes on it and inform us. Yeah, we need to know who it's from, what. Exactly. You need to give us full details, because, I mean, we're just going to see $20 on a government account.
Don't know where it comes from or what it's
exactly.
for. Okay. There's a WhatsApp question. Well, part of it you already addressed in terms of encouraging taxpayers to update their address information. And the WhatsApper is also saying encourage people to register their small business. That's something else that I was wondering and curious about in terms of registration of small business. What's that like? Because I have a feeling like there are small businesses who feel like they're too small to maybe register, and some who do not even bother to get registered.
Yeah, well, good questions. We do not plan to speak on it again, but still we're going to take every opportunity to try to educate our population as much as possible.
Yeah.
So yes, the person on WhatsApp, they are absolutely correct. All small business owners, we encourage you. The law states that you have to be registered. You can only operate a small business or any business for up to 30 days. And after 30 days, you must be registered based on the law. If we detect you or we find you operating a business over 30 days that's not registered, you're liable to be charged $2,500 on the spot. And yes, like Lawson said, many persons may say, oh, my business is just small. I don't need to register. I'm not making that amount of money. You might be surprised. So it's not a matter about making money. It's a matter about obeying the law and doing what you're supposed to. Yes, to pay taxes in Grenada, you have to be making all your gross income has to be over 36,000 EC, which is $3,000 in sales a month. But the law states that every business needs to be registered. So once you're providing a service and you're getting paid for that service, you need to have that business registered. And the registration process, of course, you first have to get the business name registered, and that's done. You could do it through GIDC or through GDB, or also directly at CAIPO, that's Cooperative Affairs Office. They are located Upper Lucas Street, St. George, just at the entrance to Mount Weldale, the entrance to Parliament Building. So you get your business name registered. After your business name is registered, then you carry the documents to the Inland Revenue Division to get your business registered to have a tax ID number. And of course, we're reminding persons that, of course, you can't have a business account without having a tax ID number. So you have to have your business registered first before you could get a business account open at the bank or the credit union, before you could really carry on business. So we're encouraging persons, don't let us come to you and charge you that $2,500. These are hard times. Come on and register your business, get your tax ID number. There's no cost to it with us. There's no cost. And like I said, registration doesn't mean that you have to pay tax. Even if you do have to pay tax, you should then be feeling proud that you are contributing to the success of Grenada and contributing to our GDP and paying taxes. You should feel proud that you're not paying taxes. So.
Sorry, no, go ahead.
Yes, and we know like during COVID, a lot of people have identified their talents and their abilities, and some businesses have grown out of that. So we want to encourage persons, whether it's you have a place that you operate from, whether it's online, whether you go from house to house, it's income, you're providing a service, it's a business. Once it's a business, you have to be registered. As Mr. Johnson said, it's 30 days after. Although we don't see much persons coming in after 30 days, or because some of them just genuinely don't know. So that's why we're here this morning. We're here to educate you and let you know what you have to do, business-wise, property-wise, and otherwise.
All right, let me see. Phone lines. Right, let's go back to the phone. Good morning, caller.
Hi, good morning to you, Blossom, and all your followers and your guest this morning. I have a major pet peeve, lady and gentlemen. It is the constant, sorry, there is a boombox on the road outside of me. It's gone, sorry, thanks. The constantly recurring arrears and credits on people's bills. I had a credit on my bill since 2016. This year I had to call and ask them to manually remove the credit. Give me the credit and bill me appropriately. Every year it comes and I pay the full amount every year, and if that credit is still there, I mean, after 5 years, probably should be getting an interest on that credit that you have deprived me of. I hope it doesn't recur next year, because I had to call in and ask them to make the changes before I made my payment. Now, I know family members who have arrears for 15 years. They have always paid their bill, and these arrears continue to be on their bills. I mean, it is not rocket science. Let us solve these things. We're in the digital age. Why must I be having arrears on my bills, and I'm paying my bills every year, and it keeps coming again, and you give me a receipt, I pay, and it's still there next year? What can you do about those age-old, I would say, nuances that are there? Thank you. Nuisances, I should say, not nuances.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, caller, for your call and expressing your concerns. And these are concerns that we hear all the time. So let me first apologize that you are constantly seeing these arrears showing up on your bill or credits. And sorry we can't pay you interest for the credits. So it's a good thing that you mentioned that you would have called and asked for the credits to be transferred, because as of now, yes, we're moving ahead with the computer age and we're trying to get more technologically advanced. But as of now, based on how our system works, you will still need to inform us of that credit. So we do not have officers who monitor every account to see which account has a credit and manually fix it. So we still depend on our taxpayers to inform us, because we have so much bills printed out, we don't look at them individually. So whenever you see a credit and you want that credit applied, please inform us. You can inform us via calling on the phone. You could also send us an email. We have the taxpayer services section. You could send an email to TPS Help Desk. That's TPS as in Taxpayer Services. So TPS Help Desk at ird.gov.gd. Of course, put your name, put your account number, let them know what the issue is, and they are going to have it resolved for you. Like I said, I do apologize that this thing is not automatically done. Our system isn't as advanced as yet to automatically do it, but we are in the process of trying to regularize all these accounts that are showing credits. In terms of the arrears, so the arrears, and I do understand the concern. Quite a few times I see it. Persons, you pay on time every year, you get the 5% off, and next day you see an arrears. So what happens with that is sometimes, based on how the payment was made and you get the 5% off, the system does not always automatically give you the rebate. But it is an easy fix. So once you see that arrears and you inform, you can do the same process, either call on the phone or send an email to the help desk. And once they see that figure, if it's not a genuine arrears, we're going to have it cleared for you and give you an updated balance. So callers, please bear with us. We're not perfect. We're not where we want to be as yet. So we still have a few glitches that we're trying to solve, but we will not come back and make you pay for arrears if you already paid it on time. So whenever we see those cases and you inform us of it, we will try to have it regularized at the same time, and we will give you an updated balance and say, hey, we apologize, the account is clean now. Here's a statement that you could keep to show that your account is clean. But yeah, we do see some instances with credits being rolled forward and arrears. And of course, even with the credits, we cannot just take on our own and use their credits. Some person may want the credit as a refund. They might want to get back cash. So you have to inform us whether or not we should use those credits to apply it to your current bill or past bills, or if you want to get back the credit as a refund. And yes, I know you might say, oh, government doesn't give people refunds. We actually do. Every single day, we have a refund section at IRD, and they do process refunds, whether it's VAT refunds or income tax refunds, we do process refunds. So of course, if someone has a large credit on their property tax account and they want back their cash, we're mandated, we have to give it to you. So it is your right. It is your RIGHT to WRITE and ask for a refund. This is your right to write for your refund.
YouTube question. Somebody on YouTube says, what are the steps to take when you are willed a piece of land from your parents? How are you going to pay the tax? Do I have to register the land in my name, or can I pay it in my parents' name as it was?
All right, well, that's a legal matter. So, of course, until your lawyers would have done the official work and transfer the property to your name, you have to continue paying it in your parents' name. So, of course, I always advise persons, your parents will property to you, get a lawyer and work on it as soon as possible. You don't want us to be sending notices to someone who probably would have died 20 years ago, because you might just want to do some business. You might want to take a mortgage on that property and it's not in your name and you can't. So you should try to have those things regularized as soon as possible. You will will some property, you have the will has been registered. Get a lawyer, seek some legal advice, and get those things done. Get the property transferred to your name and move on so you can pay taxes under your name. Why should you be paying tax to someone who would have passed years ago? So try to get those things. So like I said, that's a legal matter. Get a lawyer. There are many lawyers on island. I'm not going to do any free marketing right now, but there are many good lawyers. And don't be afraid of the law firms. Sometimes persons say, I'm just going to look for a little law office. No, even the large law firms, they will facilitate you, and you will find their costs not too high. So get a good lawyer and get your stuff sorted out.
A Facebook question: what is the IRD doing to collect outstanding taxes?
Sorry, yes. So we have an active collection section, and they will contact persons whenever your arrears reach high, whether it's property tax arrears, stamp tax, personal income tax. They will contact you, and trust me, you don't want your taxes to get that bad for someone to be contacting you. But when it gets to that stage, IRD has a lot of power and authority to get those monies from you. Let me just mention one thing quickly, and many persons don't know it. So even in the Property Tax Act, do you know that IRD or government could basically take your property and sell it if you have not paid your taxes for 3 years? So the law allows you, I don't want to say allows you, but you have up to 3 years. If your property tax remains outstanding for more than 3 years, the government has the legal right to sell that property to recover the taxes. Of course, we have not been doing that in the past, but I will tell you that it is something that IRD is considering, because we have some accounts where taxes have not been paid for over 12 years, over 10 years in some cases. And especially you might find, yes, most of the properties in Grenada are small plots, small houses, the tax isn't very high. But we do have some properties, even some commercial properties, with high taxes, and persons have not been paying for over 3 years. So very soon you may be hearing that IRD has been taking action against such properties to recover their debt. And of course, we use different methods. We will normally send letters. We might give you a demand, giving you 14 days to clear up your arrears. And if you don't do so, we're going to take action. We could do garnishes, whereby we could get money from other sources. We can even get money from your own bank accounts to clear up those taxes. So yes, IRD, it is something that we've been doing continuously in the past, but of course we don't want to get to that stage. So we encourage persons, be compliant, come forward, pay your taxes on time. Don't wait until someone from the collection section have to contact you, or they have to seize your assets, or they have to take your property from you, or take your vehicle from you. But we don't want it to get to that stage. Come in willfully, come in as a compliant, true Grenadian citizen. And I always say that a true Grenadian citizen, a true patriotic Grenadian will pay their taxes on time. If you truly love your country, you truly care about your country, you will pay your taxes on time. So don't let it get to that collection stage.
Back to the phone line. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. Good
yes,
morning.
Go ahead.
Mr. Johnson, you seem to be honest, but I'm asking myself, why is it that people who are collecting money like you and others, whether in tax or whether it's personal person, they always collect theirs, what is due to them, and they do not give back what they have already received? For example, this last person had called and told you about how you all take his money for years and weeks and months, and yet for all, you know when people owe, but you don't know when they overpaid. And I find these things hurt me a lot, and I want to know what you mean by a little sum or a small sum or a big boy or a little girl, because I hear you using this word vaguely. As far as I'm concerned, you should know who the man you had dealing with a few years back. When you come on, I won't use the word.
Okay. Mr. Johnson?
All right. Thank you for calling. And caller, sorry if I seem laughing. It's not a laughing matter. I laugh because of some of the things you said. It is a serious matter, and I'm not taking this personal, because whenever IRD collects money, we don't collect it for ourselves, and we don't take it for ourselves. It goes into the government's coffers. This is why you get an official receipt. And yes, I agree with you. Just the same way we have a collection section that will tell persons that you owe. I do agree that yes, if there's a large credit on someone's account, that we should give them. And like I said earlier, we are willing and we're saying, yes, if you have a credit, once you inform us, it is your right to get back that credit, whether it's going to be applied to your account or whether you want it back as a refund, you are entitled to it. We cannot tell you that we're not going to give you back your money. So we're saying here that, yes, if you have a credit, you will get a credit. But in the same breath, I'm saying, if you have an obligation to pay the government, we are encouraging you to pay the government. And caller, please remember, IRD's officers or even other officers, customs and so on, we don't collect for ourselves. We collect on the government's behalf. And of course, guys, whenever you make a payment to the government, ensure that you are given an official receipt. And that confirms that the individual that you paid did not take the money themselves, but the money goes into the government's coffers. I hope this answers your question, caller.
Okay, and as it's related to the refunds, we are trying our best here at IRD to see how we can fast process these refunds. We know sometimes it takes a long time, but we're taking steps to ensure that we refund the persons on time and that they are comfortable with our service here at the refunds desk. So we're taking steps to ensure that any credit, whether you want it back in cash or so, and we do checks. So we do checks now, we don't do cash. So we're really trying to see how we can fast track the process of processing refunds here at IRD.
And we also do direct bank transfers. So if you give us your account number, we could put your refund directly into your account that you requested it in.
A question on WhatsApp. Say my land property tax due by June 30th is $100. I paid online a month ago. The online portal gave me a 5% off for paying early, yet subsequent lookup says I owe $5. The site rebate is not honored. I did not do the calculation. The site did it. Is this an issue that you've had, and what should this person do from here?
Yeah, so I did mention it earlier. It's an issue that we seem to have sometimes with the computer system. It doesn't always remove the rebate, but caller, rest assured that your account will be cleared. We actually have a project right now where we're going to be going through all such accounts that paid on time, and we're going to have someone manually remove that $5 that remained on your account. So rest assured it will be cleared. Once you paid on time, you paid online, and know you have your receipt. So in case 10 years down the line something comes up, you could always prove to us that you paid it on time, and our records will also show that you paid it on time. So we will remove that rebate for you. Like I said, it's a system that we would have seen happen before. It's an issue. So we are aware of it, and we are working to have it resolved, and we are trying our best to have it resolved. So caller, we do apologize that you're still seeing arrears, but yes, once you paid online and the system calculated the rebate, you pay the correct amount, we are going to have that cleared. So by the time you get your bill next year, you're not going to see any arrears.
A YouTube question. Somebody just wanted to verify. So if I sell fruits and vegetables by the road, do I have to register as a business?
Yep, because what you're doing is a business, whether or not you are growing the fruits or whether or not you're buying it to sell over, whatever you're doing. So any form of trade or exchange of income, whether, like I said, once you're providing a service and you're getting paid for that service, you are required to be registered. And like I said, registration doesn't mean that you have to pay taxes, because to pay taxes currently in Grenada, your sales or your gross revenue has to be over $3,000 a month. So if you just sell fruits by the road, you may not as yet reach a threshold, or you might, because I know some fruit vendors who make good money. So you should be registered. Don't wait until IRD comes to you and you get charged $2,500. Whether you're a hairdresser, you're a nail technician, you're a barber, or you sell chickens, or you sell eggs, whatever it is, you need to be registered. And mind you, don't underestimate these small businesses.
Exactly.
I remember I was speaking to someone that came into the office, and she was telling me, I just a small business I'm doing. I don't need to be registered. I said, well, what do you do? She told me she sells chickens. I said, okay. I said, how much chickens you sell on a weekly basis? She said, not much. I sell just about 25 chickens on a week basis. I said, okay. I said, so every week you make on average $125. She said, yeah, on average sometimes. I said, okay, if you make that once 125 a week, and they multiply that 125 by 4 weeks in a month, that's $500 just like that. I say, and some months, some weeks, you might be selling a lot more. And once we did the calculation, even she was amazed at how much money she was turning over in what she would have been considering her small business. So guys, the laws are there. The laws are there not to punish anyone. It's not like some people say, oh, you don't want us to eat our food. Yes, we want everyone to eat our food. And we want everyone to pay their fair share. It's unfair for one food vendor to be registered and paying their fair share of taxes, and right next to them, competing with them, there's another food vendor not paying any taxes. And yet still they're driving on the same roads that they want the government to fix. They're sending the children to the same public schools that the government has to pay the salaries and so forth. Whenever they get sick, they go to the same hospital that the government has to pay doctors and nurses and provide healthcare for. So in order for us to be fair, we all have to pay our fair share. And then we could feel proud to wear our colors on Independence Day and say, I am a true Grenadian. Then also you could feel proud, or you could open your voice and speak up when things are not going right. When you see a pothole, you can say, listen, I am a taxpayer. I'm paying my taxes. Let's fix the roads. Yeah, but if you're not doing that, then I think you should stay silent.
Yeah, and I know a lot of us say that it's just a small business, but I encourage persons to think big. So when you think big, you register your business, you do all you need to do, and then you can open your mouth really big when government is not doing what it's supposed to do, because you are contributing. So think big. When you start a business, don't just stick to being a small business, but be a visionary and see where you can go with that business so that you'll be able to contribute to the economic growth of the country.
A WhatsApp question: if someone dies and you're living on the property, do you have to pay the land taxes?
Well, of course, the person that died, they can no longer pay it, and you're occupying the premises. So I think it's better for you to pay it than for the IRS to get too high and the IRS sells the property and kick you out.
Okay.
I think it makes more sense for you to pay it. And of course, that person died, you have to decide, you have to figure out if that person left a will, or they died.
Okay, Mr. Johnson appears to be frozen just a little bit. All right, but let's move on. It's almost time for us to wrap up the program, but let me ask this YouTube question. Kareen, hopefully you'll be able to tackle. Somebody on YouTube is asking, why am I paying tax on property used fully for agriculture purposes? An appeal was already made, no change.
Okay, well, what I can do, you could probably send a email address or call in and tell us what's going on, because agricultural land, no tax is charged for agricultural land. So you can do an objection, you can come in or send an email to us, and maybe it must have been an oversight. So you can call us, come in, and see how we can work that out, because no tax is charged on agricultural land.
WhatsApp, if someone doesn't pay taxes for 10 years and the IRD is selling the property, do you sell it for what it is worth or for what the person owes?
Wow. I can't answer that question now, but I can look into it and give a response at a later date.
That would be for Mr. Johnson.
Yes, Mr. Johnson can answer that question.
Well, we are at the end of the program. Any final thoughts as we wrap up?
So we just want to encourage you to use the online platform, pay your property tax if you want to get your 5% before the deadline. The deadline is on Wednesday, June 30th. Take advantage of it. Get that 5%. A little goes a long way. And we encourage you to use the pay.gov.g site to take you from inline to online. You don't want to have the hassle of coming in and spending long times in the line. So, yes, and we also want to tell you about Dusty Highway. Cricket is going on. We're no longer at the stadium, but we're at Dusty Highway. So all the services that would have been provided at the stadium is now available at Dusty Highway. And for persons who other parts of the country, you pay your motor vehicle inspection fee online, or you go at the various district revenue offices. You don't have to come to base here at Inland Revenue to get your sticker or your decal. You can go to any of the inspection sites to get that done. So you don't have to travel all the way down to St. George's to get your sticker, but you can get that at the various inspection points. So that's what we're here. We're educating you and we encourage you to use the services that's available for you to make life much easier and to be compliant. Pay your tax on time and pay online, taking it from inline to online.
There are a few comments on the WhatsApp that people basically sending kudos to the IRD. Some people are saying the platform has been very user-friendly. Somebody else saying you all were quick to give her back a refund after she overpaid. So there are people saying, kudos to the IRD for the department working well.
Yes, and we appreciate the good response, and we're always trying to do our best here to accommodate our taxpayers and other clients to ensure that life is much easier paying the government. So we're always looking at other ways. As Mr. Johnson said earlier, we're also looking at another platform where you can update your information as it regards to demand notices. As you know, that we are going through a period where we have a lot of returned demand notices for property tax. So we're looking at ways to improve that so that all persons can get their demand notices on time, online, through their email. So look out for that as more information comes forward.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Alexander. Give my best to Mr. Johnson. Sorry we got cut off at the end there. He did a very good job. But thank you both and enjoy the rest of your day.
Us.
A pleasure.
All right.
Officials of the IRD, the Public Relations Officer Kareen Morain-Alexander and Senior Tax Officer Joel Johnson, thank them both for being our guests, and thank you viewers and listeners for tuning into the program. Always appreciate your time. That's the end of my time with you today. Joseph is up next with Mid-Morning Buzz. Have yourselves an enjoyable Monday. I'll be back tomorrow, God willing.